I've been zoning, I've been zoning.
These dark visions oppress me. The warm light of wakefulness is sweet relief. And yet, I must see more, wherever the darkness leads me. A message from Volker. If I drink the potion, I can return to my vision. These new visions of Odin trouble me. Am I alone in seeing them? Or do the tales of Svartalfheim hold some other meaning? Perhaps I should warm my bones by the fire. Gather my thoughts for a moment. Tove, how have you been?
The fire made me think of the myths and legends Sven loved.
Would you indulge me with a tale? I would be glad to hear of Svartalfheim.
I would not tell it half as well, but his favorite was a fable, to remind us to find meaning in our deeds and not in how others think of us. Svartalfheim was not short of legendary dwarven blacksmiths. Everyone has heard of Ivaldi, of Brucker and Sindri. But this tale is of a stonemason. He lived as far south as he could, where Gulnamar meets Vangrim. His workshop sat upon the shoreline. Obsessed with glory, his love of masonry had all but died. He scoured the shore, seeking precious stones washed up from other realms. Then he saw it. Something beautiful, glittering, shimmering across the water, upon an island he had never dared travel to. He hastily built a boat, working long into the night. He set sail and found many rocks that sparkled and dazzled upon the island. He cried out in joy. To craft anything from such stones, he would be remembered for all time. Then he felt a sudden sting on his foot. Then another, and another. His eyes adjusted to the dark. So consumed was he by his desire for renown, he failed to realize he had walked into a nest of snakes, until it was already too late. And so, clutching the stone that sealed his fate, there he died. Remembered, yes, but only for his folly.
A fine tale, Toby, and well told. Sven would be proud. Are you and Bridget well?
Of course. The flames soothe my mind, as do the tales told here.
You have one to share, Gunnar. A legend of Svartalfheim.
Aye, a story of a king who could not see the wood for the trees. Reidmar, greatest of dwarven kings. Within his palace in Gulnamar, he wanted for nothing except an heir. Hreidmar and his wife had grown old. Perhaps too old. Late one night, consumed with worry, Hreidmar walked in the shadow of his vast mountaintop palace, tears in his eyes. "The great king! What ails you?" a voice said. Afraid, Hreidmar saw no one. "Who goes there?" he replied. Then he saw who addressed him. A vast and ancient tree, perhaps almost as old as Ymir himself. Hreidmar sat upon its roots and told the tree he feared he was too old to give his subjects the legacy they deserved. The tree was so moved, it wept and offered its tears to Hreidmar. "Drink, great king," it said, "and your woes shall be washed away." Hreidmar observed the grass, the meadows, the leaves of the tree. His subjects' happiness could be seen in how they cared for the land. His legacy was all around him. Hreidmar felt at ease, realizing he had everything he needed, and asked that the land receive the tree's gift instead. The tree's happy tears flowed evermore, enriching the land. 9 moons passed, and a baby's cry rang through Hreidmar's palace. Long would dwarves place gifts in the weeping tree's roots, in memory of Hreidmar and his kindness that shaped all he touched.
All things happen when they should, old friend.
I hope so.
Eivor! Whatever is the matter? Have you been spending too much time drinking Valka's special sauces again?
I am troubled by visions of Odin and of Svartalfheim. They clot my mind without warning, without invitation.
Aha! Which is how Thor flooded Svartalfheim. Thor, fast to act, but not so fast to think, would stomp and thump and fight and bump everywhere he and Mjolnir should go. One day, he fought a giant in Jotunheim with such ferocity that Thor's killing blow was felt through all 9 realms. The ground shook, mountains rose up, hills tore apart, creating canyons, and north of Svaladal, the massive lake that housed the springs of Yggdrasil split open, flooding all of Svartalfheim. The dwarf king, Hreidmar, acted swiftly. He built 3 mighty dams, preventing further damage to his realm, working alongside his beloved subjects. So surprised was one builder to see the great king working as an equal that he slipped, tumbling into the raging waters below. Without hesitation, Hreidmar leapt, once from his horse and again from the center of the dam's lip, diving into the frightful torrent. Before the builder could even cry for help, Hreidmar was pulling him onto dry land. And so 2 giant statues were built to honor the king, one for each leap of unthinking bravery, and stood until the end of days.
Until Ragnarok.
Aye! So you see, actions ripple outward, like a stone falling into a lake. Or like Thor crushing a Jotun skull with Mjolnir.
Affecting everything, whether foretold or unknown.
I'd fear my tale has only worsened your concerns.
No, a good story is a lark that feeds a mind's flame. Thank you, friend.
I hear you seek tales of Svartalfheim. You are not alone in your glimpses of the Aesir.
You have seen them too.
No. Only the power the visions hold, and their effect on those once held dear.
You speak of Sigurd.
Do you want my tale or not? There was a dwarven miner who cared only for his work. Mining was all he knew, all he wanted to know, and all he would ever know. One day, he heard a strange noise. All his long life working in the northern mines of Vangrim, he had never known a boulder to squeak. He ignored it at first, but as the hours passed, the squeaking continued relentlessly. When the miner could take no more, he split the boulder apart with his pick, and then he saw a squirrel. Until now, pinned by the boulder, afraid and tired, the freed squirrel climbed into the miner's long beard and slept for 3 days. When the dwarf awoke the next day, he found fruit and nuts waiting for him. A gift from the squirrel, the first the miner had ever received. Finally, the miner had a friend. The squirrel led the dwarf to a stone hill within a lake. There, the dwarf would fish for supper, while the squirrel played in the trees. One night, watching his fishing line, the dwarf drifted off to sleep, enjoying the happy squeaks of his friend above. When the sun rose, its light did not find the dwarf, for he had turned to stone, his short-lived bliss captured evermore.
And the squirrel?
It never left his side, hoping his friend would awaken, just as the miner had waited for the squirrel to do the same.
Sigurd. He is not lost to us. In every great story, there's truth to be found. I wonder what could be found in Svartalfheim, the place they spoke of. Looks... a new letter.
Admitted, Alvis. I am the superior wordsmith.
Admit to a falsehood? I would sooner square a circle.
I can reclaim my vision of Svartalfheim. which of these dwarves can help me find a suitable Jotun? Perhaps if I listen to their chatter, some fount of wisdom will reveal itself. I should return to the shelter. Perhaps the dwarves there can aid me in finding a Jotun worthy of the Salakar.
Come to humiliate us some more?
Help me, and I'll compose you a saga so exalted it will endure Ragnarok itself. But first, I need a name and a place.
For what?
For whom? The mightiest Jotun in all of Svartalfheim.
We know the one. Right hand of Suttungr. Malviga.
Here because of us.
She is worthwhile.
Gave your son Vidar quite the beating once, didn't she?
One day Vidar will make me proud. But why would Malviga care about you two?
Bremir and Lom aren't our real names. Allow me to introduce Fjalar and Galar. The ones who killed Suttungr's father.
I heard something about him trying to outdrink a couple of dwarves. And after, befuddled tripping and breaking his neck.
Suttungr wasn't happy. Held us responsible. But luckily we'd acquired some mead. Some special mead. And well, Suttungr is partial to a bit of mead. We bartered it in exchange for our lives. Except afterwards, some thieving twat went and stole it.
Loki, most likely. It's always Loki.
Whoever it was, Suttungr didn't catch them. So he decided to take it out on us instead. Sent Malviga to hunt us down. Been incognito ever since. Can't trust this lot not to sell us out.
Still, she hasn't found us yet.
She will. Malviga's dangerous prey, even for you. But we can help balance the scales. Our old house, north of here, sunk in a lake. Inside, upstairs on a table, you'll find a cup of great potency.
Cup?
You know, the cup.
Oh yes, the cup.
Has the power to do wonderful stuff. For instance,
So, I bring you the cup, and then...
we show you how to use it against Malviga.
It's a deal.
They may fry us with fire.
No one wants to hear us
what
act.
fires these hands have
We're giant killers.
Show me what lies ahead. This is the place. The old home of Grama and Lom. Whatever they're called, I should find a way inside. Looks like... this wondrous cup of theirs? Should be on the table over there. Nothing. Perhaps someone has already been here and stolen it. Assuming there was a cup in the first place.
I'll finish you. And I will not trouble you. It's best to leave one of your enemies alive, so they can tell of your greatness.
Everyone knows of my greatness.
Perhaps there are one or two who have not yet heard?
Just tell me where Malvigor is.
What's in it for me?
I do not know, but I will tell you this. The longer you make me wait, the worse it will be.
Malvigor is at the dam to the west. And now? Will you spare me?
Until next we meet.
There will be no next. You can be sure of that.
She is a worthy foe. We'll find Malvigor at the dam west of here. She is a worthy foe.
The troll kissing.
We'll find Malvigor at the dam west of here. She is a worthy foe. Loki told me how she and Angerboda once came to blows. It did not go well for Angerboda. If the Salaka rejects Malvigor, then it is a false tool, and Sutter pins his hopes on a worthless toy. These rugged views that remind me of when I once roved the land with Frigg. The cool nights spent together beneath the stars. She enjoyed the solitude as much as I. And the trouble. There is the dam. This tempest. It is unnatural. These rugged views that remind me of when I once roved the land with Frigg. The cool nights spent together beneath the stars. She enjoyed the solitude as much as I. And the trouble and danger even more. And then came the war with the Vanir. Taking Freya as my bride. It helped end that strife, but it ended many other things too. Sunan, guide me. Traitors have been betrayed.
They had hoped that by serving you up, I would show them mercy. Clearly a misapprehension on their part.
Yet here I am, served up.
If I were here for you, High One, I would have brought an army. No. Suttungr will have his vengeance. But not here. I know why you have come.
I have a bone to pick with you. After what you did to my son, Vidar, I must...
Vidar put up an honorable fight.
That is not what I heard.
Do not believe the stories.
Upon his return, too weak to stand, he squirmed like a worm caught in the sun.
You should have seen me. My acolytes had to carry me home on their backs. No. Your boy fought well.
Is that why you spared his life?
It is. But you aren't here to avenge Vidar's honor. You have come to steal my Hugr. And I intend to stop you.
How do you know this?
Aesir, Jotun. You and Loki are both mad. And Hirokin is just as bad. And Thor is so stupid he might as well be mad. You spread chaos wherever you go. Yet, you are all known quantities to us. Surtur is not. He rarely emerges from Muspelheim, and when he does, he shares little with us. Thus, while here, I have sent my spies to learn what he plans. Beyond wiping out the dwarves like he did the elves of Alfheim.
What do you know of his plans?
I know that he found a powerful elven relic, and that his minion, Calder, was tasked with finding the Hugrs necessary to sustain it. That Calder is now trapped within said relic, and that you would have me join him.
I must trade the Salakar for my son.
You, the one who almost killed Suttungr for his meat, will hand over a legendary relic, take your son and leave. Just like that. Put your mania aside, Havi. Work with me. Together we will foil Surtur's ambitions.
I cannot take the risk. With each breath, Baldur is a step closer to death.
I was a parent once. But we must look beyond ourselves. For the good of all.
We have spoken long enough.
So be it. Inflict a fate worse than death, or die trying. Vidar tried something similar when he was taught. I assume he learned it from must adapt some of these maneuvers.
You are the greater warrior. But this is not the right result. Do what you came here to do.
Get on with it, blind one! End my misery!
Oh, Ymir, true, O Father, my body comes to you, sent by the same impostor who claimed your own. As for my Hugr, do not weep for me. I do not deserve this.
No, you do not. Malvigar was right. I must find out more about the Zalagar. Perhaps Hirakin. But I've seen nothing of her since my arrival in Svartalfheim. And Ivaldi. Maybe he still lives in one of the other shelters. I must seek him out.
Hey, you. Can we talk?